Out there on Lapot, connecting with elbow of Junmar Fajardo, who completes the N1 play. A rare bad game from Junmar in their last game. So you know, gigil makabawi itong si Junmar.
I just couldn't believe it when I was looking at the stat sheet. 6 points for Junmar Fajardo. He was not really in his usual element offensively. But good thing the other players really stepped up. Their import got his numbers going. And even Motao Tua, perfect from the field and from the free throw line, erupting for a total of 17.
Fajardo down low. Oh, he is a different animal altogether in this ball game.
He was able to seal his man down really deep. Nothing to do for Lapot, but just to give token defense, because it's just so easy for Junmar to score if he's that close to the basket.
Great effort coming from Gio Halalo and picking up after himself and scoring on that putback. You know, Lapot has size, definitely, but what he does not have yet is the experience in going up against someone as good as Junmar Fajardo. He'll be called for another foul here, his second of the ball game.
He's probably close in height, or probably just the same. But the problem is the way Junmar positions himself, and he has to push Junmar out of his comfort level. So the first 2 points of Magnolia, courtesy of Gio Halalon, which is a good sign.
So far, the owns all the 5 points for SMB. Tried to rip through there, but he comes up empty. McCree, another player who needs a bounce-back performance in this ball game. It's import versus import early. Halalon outside, looking to attack versus Enciso. Lee uses the screen. Three-point shot, does not get the bounce. Rebound falls to Marcio Lassiter. The red shirts are pushing. Cameron Clark attacks inside, draws contact, and hits the layup.
And their imports, who I see are tailor-made for specific teams. And this particular import can run the length of the court, can use his weakness to finish fast break opportunities. And the other thing is, he can play second fiddle to Junmar Fajardo. He's not going to demand that rock. This is actually his first touch and first attempt in this game. Him just being happy is important to be part of this very strong San Miguel franchise.
And that was our move of the game, presented to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. 8-4, a strong start for SMB as they've doubled up on Magnolia early in this ball game. Halalon sends it out to De La Rosa for 3. No good. Perez picks up the rebound for SMB. You know, Coach Ryan, this is the perfect example that, you know, not working out with a specific team does not mean you're not fit for PBA basketball, because, you know, they struggled with NLEX. Maybe he was not the correct type of import for them, and now he's playing so much better with SMB.
It is about the fit, and whoever plays alongside Junmar Fajardo just plays a lot better. You gotta remember Chris Ross. The performance of Chris Ross is night and day because he has Junmar Fajardo, and now he has won a lot of championships, and that is the case with Clark as well. Clark is so much better here with a lot of good players playing alongside him.
CJ Perez, three-point shot, no good. McCree with the rebound. But he has not yet scored in this ball game. Halalon and Paul Lee on the 2 field goals for the white shirts. McCree coming up empty there as it's stolen by Enciso. They have the numbers. The pass was a little behind, but it turns out even better for SMB. Another N1 opportunity, their third of the opening minutes here in this matchup.
Ball control and the unselfishness of Enciso. Almost the botched play, but to your point, turned out to be a blessing in disguise because McCree actually was not able to step on the brakes. He hit the CJ Perez while CJ was on the act of shooting. But unfortunately, he missed his free throw. The jury is out, Carlo, to be honest with you, on McCree.
Yeah.
He really has to deliver in this ball game. He had a scintillating game in his very first game, but he was just not his usual self against TNT. 12 points, 8 turnovers, and in the last possession, he again turned the ball over.
Yeah, that was, I think, with a couple of minutes remaining in the matchup. Simon Enciso hits a 3-point shot. Everyone just firing on all cylinders for the San Miguel Beermen. Their first 5 have all scored. And that is the reason why they've built an early advantage. 16-4, a dozen-point lead. Not even 5 minutes into this ball game, as this timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
A new era calls for a new evolution, where style meets function and innovation with combined functionality and convenience. It's Honda's innovative engine technology. It's the ultimate game changer. The all-new Honda Click 125.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
You're tuned into PBA Rush. The match at hand is between San Miguel and Magnolia. Coach Chito might sound like a broken record for the Hotshots at this point, but he'll still keep repeating to his team consistency, consistency, consistency. And this was his most important reminder to Eric McCree after his 12-point performance post his 38-point debut. Coach Chito told Eric he has to adjust to his game because as last game showed, he has been well scouted and TNT's defense just threw him off guard. But more importantly, Coach Chito made it a point to call him out on the mere 9 attempts he had last game. So let's keep an eye out on the adjustments that Eric will make. Carlo and Coach RG.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Bel Gregorio, as currently Magnolia still looking for some flow in their offense. Good cut coming from McCree. That was a block and the foul whistled against Junmar Pardo, but you have to appreciate that kind of aggression coming from McCree. Now, we did not see it against TNT.
You just can't fall in love with your three-pointer. This game is not just for players who will just step back and shoot that three. You have to attack the basket aggressively so that you can get your confidence on layups or even from free throw situations. 9 attempts from an import, that is simply too low considering the number of attempts that he was able to do in his very first game. 25 attempts, Carlo, and down to 9, that's a huge difference.
And we know that San Miguel Beer is a hot starting team. They had a 42-21 first quarter in their match against Phoenix Super LPG. This is a good stop for Magnolia. They send it forward. Gio Halalon, bothered by the defense of Clark there, and it will be tapped out of bounds. It will stay on the side of the Hotshots.
Just a good attitude here displayed by Clark. He was the last man on defense. He played like a goalie. He defended his goal and was able to foil that layup shot of Gio Halalon. So you know that Clark is not just looking for his offense, he's also trying to ensure that his team is stronger defensively because of his skill set.
There's a mismatch somewhere. De La Rosa forces up the shot and gets it. That is a third mid-range jumper converted by Magnolia. Maybe they're seeing that as a weak point of the defense of SMB.
Oh, the challenge for them is find their advantage. It's not usual and ordinary, or you see it all the time that De La Rosa is actually playing back to the basket. It's not part of their usual flow on offense, but they need it badly at this point. That is a normal play for Junmar Fajardo and the rest of the San Miguel gang. Single coverage, there is no chance for Lapot to stop JMF.
He's being taken to school here. Lapot gets to answer back with his N1 opportunity. Junmar Fajardo, a bit of an overhelp. He left CJ Perez alone down low to defend the big man.
Good answer there by Lapot. You see this particular situation. Single coverage, he was expecting that the double will come. Unfortunately, there was none. Simple drop step, baseline side for JMF, 2 points. A little jump hook on the other side for Lapot, and he completes his version of a 3-point play.
Calvin Abueva about to check in at the next opportunity for Magnolia. They're hoping for a little bit more energy coming from their second unit. They go back to Junmar Fajardo now. Gio Halalon digging down low. Another spin move. Junmar, great timing. Ambush steal for Gio. McCree now. Only 1 point on the board. A free throw. As he'll be fouled here, he'll be back to the free throw line for more.
You see a different kind of aggressiveness, forcefully trying to attack the basket. If the outside shot is not available, the read for him is penetrate, go to the free throw line, get fouled, get your confidence back. 12 points in a game is simply not enough to tow your team to victory, especially if you're losing pieces. If there's no Ian Sanggalang, you have to add up in terms of number of attempts. And that is really the responsibility of their import.
Lapot getting a reservation from his teammates on the bench. He will exit for the time being alongside Rome De La Rosa, Calvin Abueva, and the veteran team captain Rafi Ribes. We'll see their first action. 18-12, so at least some fight coming from Magnolia after that early timeout requested by Coach Chito Victorero when they were down by 12 points. Marcio Lassiter looking for Junmar once again versus the experienced Rafi Ribes. Hand off to CJ. Perez against the beast. CJ attacks inside. Great presence coming from Ribes as they get another stop.
Now this is what you want every time Junmar attacks the basket. It just can't be one guy. So Junmar's turned the ball over 2 times in the last 2 possessions for San Miguel. Credit that to the athleticism and aggressiveness defensively. And Calvin Abueva trying to lift the energy of his team up.
Oh, this could be a bad development for SMB as Junmar is called for that little arm bar for his second personal foul. No, sometimes, Coach, it's the Shaquille O'Neal fouls. A little bit from a big man is bigger, you know, in terms of the effect to a player who's driving like Calvin Abueva.
That is correct. It's too strong for the opposition. And sometimes you see that such a simple nudge, but it got Calvin Abueva off balance on his attack.
And Calvin will be taking the second free throw when we come back from this timeout. 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in our opening quarter. A 5-point lead for SMB.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Watch anytime with Signal. Buy a Signal prepaid HD kit with buy one, take one load. Enjoy up to 123 channels so you can cheer as a team and feel the adventure with the family. Subscribe today.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, Vic Manuel entering the ball game for the first time, replacing Junmar Fajardo, who committed his second team foul in this first quarter. We thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Coach Ryan Gregorio on the call. Big doubleheader. SMB versus Magnolia first. We have Rain or Shine versus Barangay Ginebra later. Oh, a stop here for Magnolia. Calvin Abueva. Oh, they give it up to their import, setting McCree up for a basket.
You can see the difference in the game of Magnolia. As soon as Calvin Abueva stepped inside the basketball court, they were able to get a lot of forced turnovers and scoring on the other side. Look at him once again, trying to dribble the length of the court, but he felt like they did not have the numbers. It's okay. They're going to run their half-court set.
I think Coach George Gallet is about to throw in his antidote for Calvin Abueva and Jericho Cruz in the next dead ball opportunity, and a foul will be whistled against Vic Manuel.
Impressive fight back here for Magnolia. You see this extra pass. Gio Halalon could have taken that shot, but he wanted to give the confidence to his import in a fast break situation. He needs to generate points. He needs to get more confident in taking his shots from the outside. The confidence is very important at this level, especially because of his poor performance in their last game.
He needs to regain his form in this ball game. 18-16. It's already a 10-point turnaround in favor of Magnolia. McCree faking, taking the three and converting from downtown.
And as if on cue, he got himself going because of free throws, then a layup, and now He's got that touch. You know that. He plays like James Harden sometimes.
We saw this yesterday for Alain Maliksi. Scored 2 points in the entire first half and then dropped 28 in the second half after scoring on a free throw. Coach Ryan.
He was unstoppable, and he was the prime reason why Meralco Balls was able to bounce back from a tough loss against Terra Firma in their previous game.
But you now can sense the desperation coming from Magnolia. They know this is almost a must-win for them. They need to get started and pick up their first win. Cruz on the attack. Cruz, high looping layup is good.
That's going to be a huge problem for Magnolia. They were not able to take care of the leather in their game against TNT.
Yeah.
And the worst part is they also allow the opponent to score on the other side on layups, slam dunks, and even inside incursions. That is what is happening here in this game against San Miguel.
Good pass down low. Rafi Rivas had a ball swiped away from him by Cameron Clark. A couple of good stops for Clark already as SMB trying to add on to this 1-point lead. The muscle man against Rafi Rivas. Tough angle, but somehow he gets it to drop.
Just a different dimension. Manuel, probably 6 inches shorter than Junmar Pardo, but he likes to play behind or back with his back to the basket.
Gio Halalon was able to sneak his way inside and get 2 free throws for his efforts. As we take another look at this swipe. And then he was able to save the possession, leading to this basket. Another set of points from turnovers for the San Miguel Beermen.
Very high percentage from the field for San Miguel, 7 out of 11. And the problem really is turnovers. Just a lot of turnovers. But you have to see turnovers. 5 turnovers for San Miguel and only 2 for Magnolia. But when you see turnover points, Magnolia doing a lot of things, meaning you're seeing the kind of defense that they're known for, which is just translating into a lot of baskets for them.
9 points from turnovers for Magnolia already. And it's all about the energy. It changed when Calvin Abueva entered the ballgame. Go try it.
It's a difference maker. He just has to play with so much passion and energy. That's the operative term. The energy of Calvin Abueva can really motivate the other 4 guys inside the basketball court.
And we greet him a belated happy birthday for the Beast. As McCree was just whistled for his second personal foul, could not get out of Clark's swing, who will now be taking 2 free throws. And Cameron Clark, former import of the NLEX Road Warriors, he was a late replacement to KJ McDaniels. As we remind everyone once again that tickets are still available for Gilas Pilipinas as they are back in action in the FIBA Basketball World Cup Asian qualifiers. They compete against Lebanon on Feb 24 and Jordan on February 27 at the Philippine Arena. You can buy your tickets at SM Tickets or any SM outlet nationwide. I think you have to go to either the cinema or yung sa SM store. You can buy your tickets there.
And it's exciting, and one of the reasons why there's a lot of anticipation is because for the very first time JB will be playing for Gilas Pilipinas.
You were looking for this guy to do something, and Mark Maroca hits a 3-point shot in desperation time because their shot clock was about to run out.
First 2 games, 3.5 points per ball game for Mark Maroca. Those are not the usual numbers for that Spitfire. Probably he needs confidence too, and that is why that very first attempt and a first basket from deep is going to be very important for his personal output.
Look at this. Taken over the defense of Alin Bulanad. You know, Coach, fine, you can attribute the 3.5 points per ball game to maybe struggling with shooting. But the 1.5 rebounds and 1.5 assists, it means that he's not just playing with his usual passion. And you hope to change things up here in this ball game versus SMB.
Yes, that is very obvious. And that is one of the reasons why they're 0-2 right now, because they need mileage from Mark Barocco. And you know that he can score. And not only that, his energy on the defense defensive end. Energy, guys. We've always been saying that the emphasis is on energy because that is where Magnolia thrives. The way they play defense, it has not been evident here in the first 2 games.
Barroca with a nice dish. Adrian Wong from the corner. That's good again for 3.
You like the way they're passing that rock. A lot of extra passes, and they've generated 27 points and a lot from the 3-point area in their last 2 possessions. San Miguel started like a house on fire, but good fight back by Magnolia.
15-point turnaround already for Magnolia. But Cameron Clark answers back with a mid-range jumper. It's a 1-point game, 27-26 in favor of the Hotshots.
Quietly efficient, contribute whenever necessary. That is what Clark is bringing to his team.
Barroca with a triple and an assist in the last 2 possessions. Fall-away jumper. He is locked in.
Even if you're a veteran in the PBA, you still need to boost your confidence. If your first basket hits the bottom of the net, and that will just be a game changer for you. 5 points already, so he has already eclipsed his conference average.
Ooh, pass too strong. Buti na lang, nakatingin yung ating mga fans. Nasalo nila yung bola.
Alert.
And that simply had too much behind it coming from Simon and Ciso. Paulie re-entering the contest. As they want another gunner on the floor in the final 14.1 seconds to try and end this first quarter on a good note. And the Beermen up by as many as 12 points early in this matchup. But Magnolia battling back fiercely. Barroca misses this one. And Cruz, I think that was launched a little bit late. And that's where we will end things in the first quarter of action. Magnolia battling back from a 12-point deficit, and now they will head into the second quarter with a lead, 29-26 against SMB.
You by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Here are the games today on PBA Rush. You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governors Cup.
The PBA on PBA Rush. After the first 12 minutes of action, Magnolia is still up by 3, 29-26 in this Magnolia-San Miguel face-off. But let's talk about San Miguel for a bit. In the 3 games that San Miguel has won, the locals would always end up as best player. Jericho Cruz, Simon Enciso, and CJ Perez. So I asked Coach George, Coach, other teams, they would always banner their import as best player of the game. And for Coach George, all is well with their import. He's getting what he wants from his import, and that is rebounding and being a defensive threat to other imports. Carlo and Coach Archie.
There's nothing wrong in getting a role-playing import if you have a crew, a local crew as loaded as the San Miguel Beermen.
It's a packed roster. You see that their depth is obvious. It's probably the strongest in the league right now in terms of every position. I mean, Junmar Fajardo, if you can get enough mileage from Junmar Fajardo, you have a Mo Tauto and even a Vic Manuel. Even at the guard position, they're also very deep. And that is why if you put in an import who is a ball hog, it's going to destroy the chemistry of the quintet.
So Jackson Corpus putting up an emergency shot, coming up empty from downtown. This is a unique lineup that Coach Chito Victorero has on the floor that features Abueva, Escoto, Wong, Purefoods, and Mark Barroca, both imports, not starting in the second quarter. As per usual, it's Cruz, Bulanadi, Perez, Tautua, and Vic Manuel for the San Miguel Beermen.
Impressive fight back, especially towards the latter part of the first quarter for Magnolia. They had a listless start. They were down by double digits, but they quickly turned it around thanks to the efforts of Calvin Abueva, Mark Barroca, and even Adrian Wong contributed handsomely for their comeback.
Able to the three-point shot. Barroca, emergency pass. They kick it out. Adrian Wong open for three. No good. Not Calvin Sky for that rebound. And he was able to earn 2 free throws for his efforts.
This is the Calvin that you need, especially if you want to come out from the slump that they're in right now. 0-2 to start this conference. Unfamiliar territory for Magnolia. But you know, Calvin, he is a winner. He knows exactly what to do. He presses the right button, especially if this team is struggling, and is just doing the right things right now.
6 minutes in the ball game for Calvin Abueva. And in those minutes, Magnolia is a plus 10. Measurable impact.
Exactly. You want to make sure that Calvin will always have valuable minutes, productive time inside the basketball court. He played limited minutes in their game against Converge, only 16 minutes. And can you believe it, Carlo? He actually fouled out. So he's aching to play more minutes here. He had 23 minutes in their previous game, but also they were not able to win. And now he wants more points, more minutes, and a victory.
That'll be a traveling violation. It will be against Mo Tautua. Did not catch it clean. Forced the issue as he will turn the ball over. The defense more engaged for Magnolia as compared to their game against TNT because they're forcing turnovers on the side of SMB. That'll be number 7 for the Beermen. Another chance to score here for the Hot Shots.
This is going to be a big test for Coach George Gallo. In their first 3 games, you mentioned it, their average margin, 20 points. They won by 21 against Phoenix, 19 against Blackwater, and 20 against Terra Firma. But now, they're down by 3 points because this Magnolia team has a priority, and number 1 on their list is to win.
Because if you go down 0-3, boy, that's a tough road back. Corpus kicks it out. Escoto open for 3. No good. And Rondial grabs the board for the Beermen. Jericho Cruz. There's a switch on D. Cruz versus Corpus. Perez has it now. Gets the step on Adrian Wong. That awkward layup will not work out. Brondial giving them a second crack at it. And a 3-point shot is good for Jericho. Tied ball game, 29 apiece.
Badly needed for San Miguel. They've been having a hard time extricating from this tough defense by Magnolia.
Extra possessions guy, Rodney Brondial, working hard to give them another look. As he gets the rebound and the assist delivered to Cruz, his former Adams teammate. Eric McCree enters the ball game for Calvin Abueva. And now that's the challenge for Magnolia, who will carry the energy. With Calvin Abueva on the bench right now, Gio Halanon also not in the unit. For Coach Chito Victorero, they get a steal courtesy of Barroca. McCree steps into a 3, in and out. As Perez grabs another board, forward pass. Did Adrian Wong touch it? Adrian Wong is saying, I didn't. Referees converge, and the ball will go to Magnolia.
Hold on, Magnolia bench, that's a correctable call.
As long as it's the 2 referees that call it without anyone's help. It was a difficult pass. I mean, the connection was hard to begin with.
A little ambitious.
But CJ Perez took the risk, did not pay off. As the ball heads back to Magnolia. Mark Barroca now to Paul Lee. He uses a screen from Lapot. Paul Lee for 3, no good. Lapot gets the offensive rebound. Ball is still on their side as Laput scores again.
Whatever you say, height is always might. That's what we saw that in that play. No Junmar Fajardo inside. Laput was able to score 2 points inside the paint.
Former first-round pick of Terra Firma. First playing for Magnolia. Another rebound there. So good minutes for Laput.
And it's not going to be a perfect night for Taltua. He misses first shot.
Makakahinga ng konti si Jamie because it's not Junmar Fajardo going up against him this time around, unlike what happened in the first quarter. There's Magnolia looking to attack. Jamie settles for that look. He hits it again. He has 6 points.
Good mileage so far. It's not just generating points inside the paint. That was an impressive perimeter jumper from Laput.
Apologies, 7 points and 1 nga pala yung isa kanina nito si Laput. CJ Perez, well defended there by the big man.
Quality minutes being displayed here by Laput, and it's not just on the offensive end. It's also doing a lot of things defensively as a last line defender.
McCree from the outside, no good. Oh, but it is Rome de la Rosa turning garbage into gold there. Couple of San Miguel Beermen mistiming the rebound, opening up that opportunity for Rome to score second chance points. This is the biggest lead of the ball game for Magnolia. And Coach George Gallant will be sending in his import Cameron Clark and Junmar Fajardo when we come back from this timeout, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
A new era calls for a new evolution, where style meets function and innovation with combined functionality and convenience. It's Honda's innovative engine technology. It's the ultimate game changer. The all-new Honda Click 125.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Laput, Eric McCree on your screens right now. As you said, Coach, for the import of Magnolia, this might be a make or break for him. If he performs well, if he gives his squad the numbers, and more importantly, a win, then there'll be confidence in having him as the import moving forward.
Yes, that should be a validation. But if he has a subpar performance, that's going to be an easier decision for the Magnolia management crew, or management team for that matter.
Short jumper is good for Clark, immediately making an impact after checking back into this ball game.
Productive timeout called there by Coach George Gallant.
Clark inching his squad closer, down by 4 right now. They go back to Laput. Jamie, you can't pass like that. I mean, that's basically a throwaway with how active the defense is for SMB. That would be a blocking foul and end one for CJ Perez. Kung ambisyoso yung pasa kanina ni CJ, parang mas malala itong gustong gawin itong si Jamie Laput.
That's right.
You can see that Mark Baroka leaned into his right side. He was still moving, so foul will be called against him instead.
He was not able to establish a balanced defensive position that time. Completed three-point play by CJ Perez. San Miguel 5 straight points after being down 6 points. Yeah, right?
Rome de la Rosa on the attack, changes his mind, sends it out now to Baroka. Laput Goes to Paul Lee for 3. That's good for the lethal weapon.
If you're Paul, you're liking what you're seeing because of the other players contributing on offense. All he needs to do is play his average game or his normal game. For as long as the others are also contributing, they'll be in good shape.
Another steal here for the hot shots. Forward pass to McCree. Eric on the drive, goes to the Euro step and hits the layup.
He's playing so much better right now. He is scoring. That is what you want from your import. He's getting a lot more attempts in this game. He's going to take more than 9 attempts, and I'm certain about that, Carlo.
10 points in the ball game. That's 2 away from what he produced against TNT. Junmar Fajardo carving out space. Another and one opportunity. School is in session for Junmar.
He just could not be denied. He missed his first attempt, but he did not lose his vision of the leather. He followed the ball. He got the offensive rebound this time around. Not much resistance. Laput will be guilty for his second personal foul or third personal foul and another bonus free throw for JMF.
And I think this is what Laput could learn from that situation. Is if Junmar misses and you're the primary defender, stay connected. Don't look for the rebound anymore. Just make sure you try and prevent him from getting the ball back.
That is a very good strategy, Carlo. You're sounding like a grizzled coach, but that is correct. Let the other guys get the defensive rebound. Your function is to not let Junmar Fajardo go close to the rim for a possible offensive rebound.
Which is exactly what happened. Another poor pass coming from Laput. He's forcing the issue when the passes are not necessarily there. CJ Perez goes to Cruz, made a 3 earlier, can get this one to drop. Fajardo with another offensive rebound. He faces up and back at home though. Eric McCree settles for the mid-range jumper, in and out. Cruz with the board as he will be pushing for the Beerman. CJ slowing things down a bit. Calling a play here. CJ up top. Attacks towards his left. Thought there was contact. He threw it up with no plan. It somehow goes in.
He was just waiting for a call against De La Rosa. But he called the bank. And the bank manager answered.
He called something. 40-39, still a 1-point lead for Magnolia. Barroca squeezing his way inside. De La Rosa has it now. That's more like it for Jamie Laput. He has to stay, married to those basic skills right now.
Yes, just a simple jump hook. What is important is on the other side, his defense. He's got 10 points. Junmar Fajardo rather has 10 points. He has 9 points. So on the tail of the tape, it's not really that lopsided, but he continues to turn the ball over. That is the biggest issue right now for Laput.
Oh, good extra pass as Cam Clark slams it home. That was poor transition defense coming from Magnolia. As Clark inching his squad closer still in this ballgame. They lost their 12-point lead, but now they're engaged in a tight battle against the San Miguel Beer, against the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hot Shots. Cameron Clark with 11 points in the matchup to lead the squad in scoring. We have a timeout from the Hot Shots.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Introducing Signal Connect Prepaid, our satellite broadband service for remote areas. Now faster than before. Spend only for the data you need. And top up whenever you want. Internet connection, no matter how far, is now made more flexible. With Signal Connect Prepaid.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Junmar Fajardo, or spearheading the attack for his squad. Senator Bongo, of course, Barangay Ginebra Governor Alfrancis Chua, joining this massive crowd. We're expecting a lot more to come inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. But since you can't, we thank you for watching on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Coach Ryan Gregorio on the call. Miss Bell Gregorio is our courtside reporter for this ball game. Magnolia trying to pick up their first win. Paul Lee on the attack. The leaner is good for the lethal weapon.
Good execution on offense for Magnolia that time. A lot of misdirections, and Paul Lee using the board once again. He has a lot of points right now. 7 points in this ball game.
Marcio open from the corner. That's good for 3.
If you're Marshall Lassiter, you don't need to be creative on offense. What you need to do is just space out, make sure that as soon as you get the ball, you're ready to launch it and make it. He's got 2 3-pointers already in this game.
Tied ball game at 44. McCree finds an opening, cross-court pass to Gio. Extra pass to Rivas. They send it out now to Paul Lee. 1 second to shoot. McCree for 3. Could not counter as Rivas taps it out of bounds.
He's getting the shots off. They're trying to set him up. We're talking about the locals of Magnolia giving it to their import. But here, touch pass. And Ciso to Marshall. Money.
How about 8.5 assists per ball game for Simon and Ciso? Oh, this time around, though, he gets it back from Marcio. Comes up with an air ball as Junmar sends it to the fans, apologizes. I'm sure they will be all smiles. Junmar will be back wearing a Gilas Pilipinas jersey, I believe. I mean, he's part of the pool.
Everybody's excited right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of Ginebra players too.
It's a combination of TNT, Ginebra, and SMB players with, of course, players from outside the PBA in the pool as well. Good stop coming from the Beerman. Marcio has it against Paul Lee. Oh, a steal here for McCree. Sends it to Gio. Halalon. Oh, a tight pass down low. They will recover and set up a play. Mukhang may madulas na part, no? Pero hindi pa pwedeng puntahan ng ating crew. Gio running the horns. Now going to Calvin. Abueva to McCree. That ball is tapped out of bounds. It will stay on the side of Magnolia with 4.2 remaining on the shot clock.
Tight contest right now. Magnolia battling hard against the undefeated Beerman. It's a different direction for these two teams. 3-0 for San Miguel, 0-2 for Magnolia. A loss here for Magnolia will be trouble for them in this conference.
For sure. Especially with the Governor's Cup where it's the top 4 getting twice the beat advantage. 3-point shot will not work out for Calvin Abueva. You say that SMB is undefeated. Yes, that's correct. But in terms of, if you compare it to boxing, they're undefeated and then all of their wins were by knockout. Ganun po ka-dominante yung SMB in their first 3 outings.
Yes, it happened in the first round.
3-point shot though will not work for Marcio. Magnolia playing with enough intensity and effort on the defensive end to make life a little more difficult for the Beermen. Paul Lee splits the double team and hits that one-hander. Kaso mukhang natapakan niya si Cam Clark as he was trying to take a step back. It will be a foul against Calvin Abueva. He just wanted to check if Paul Lee has recovered. It's only his first foul, so that will be okay.
Paul Lee eluding the last line defender, happens to be a good shot blocker. Junmar Fajardo, 9 total points already for the lethal weapon. He's averaging over 20 points per ball game in this conference, but now he's getting ample help from
ambush steal from Gio Halalon. Nakakadalawa na yan against Fajardo, 46-44. You saw it coming from a mile away. He was sprinting to get that steal. McCree. Sends it to Halalon. Gio. Natapik sa mukha nitong si Jericho. Cruz will be called for the personal foul. That will be the 4th team foul of the Beermen here in the second quarter. And now our referee will take another look at it.
Coach, yes, they're gonna look at it again. If it was just an accidental hit on the face of Gio, it looks like it.
Yeah.
And the coaches of Magnolia, headed by head coach Chito Victorero and assistant coach Jason Webb, always talking to each other from an energy department. You like the way Magnolia is defending. They forced 12 turnovers already, and they only have 6 turnovers. A far cry from their performance from the turnover department against TNT. Can you imagine that stat line? 15 steals for TNT and only 3 for them.
The biggest one was R.R. Pogoy taking the ball away from Eric McCree on the fast break opportunity when they had a chance to actually tie that ball game, Coach Ryan. That was the momentum swinger.
Everything just went south after that. A chance for them to tie, they lost it. It was supposed to be an easy layup for McCree, and things just changed after that. For the if you're TNT, you're happy with that momentum shift, but after that turnover, Magnolia were not able to recover.
And now they recovered nicely from being down by 12 points in the first quarter. Now ahead by 2 against SMB. 65.4 seconds remaining. We congratulate the Cavitex Braves for winning leg 4 of our PBA 3x3 Lakas ng Tatlo competitions. 2 more legs remaining in our third conference before we close the season in PBA 3x3. Pole with a 3-point shot. He hits double digits with a dozen now in the game.
Your McCree, you're actually doing what coaches would always tell. He's got a high basketball IQ, meaning if somebody helps out, he's a willing passer. It's really up to the locals to make sure that there is enough mileage every time he gives up that pass.
And Ciso measuring up the defense. Gives the ball up to Clark. Another steal from Gio. Halalo, bullet pass. Bolli, the layup.
And that is now a total of 14 big points for the lethal weapon. And he's not happy. He felt like Simon and Ciso should have been called for a foul. But quick turnaround for Paulie. He goes to the bench right now because their team is playing with so much intensity, forcing turnovers. There is no identity crisis right now for Magnolia. They love to play defense, and that is exactly what they're doing here against the Beermen.
Gio Halalon took that number personally. Talaga, TNT with 15 steals. And now he's showing that they can regain that old defensive form. Coach, that was his 5th steal of the first half.
He's just going berserk in terms of getting those steals, anticipating passing lanes, getting it from the behind. Look at the extra pass here, James Lapot. Seldom used player here in this conference, but matched up against Junmar Fajardo, Coach Chito Victorero was actually saying probably your height will be the difference maker, at least in keeping in step with Junmar defensively, but he's doing more in this game. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 80% from the field, and 1 block. So overall performance, positive for Lapo.
That's just poor defense. No one marking Marcio Lassiter from the corner.
And that is almost a mortal sin. That is a third made 3-pointer by Marcio. You're guarding Marcio. You're tasked to guard a sniper. Make sure you don't offer help that much. Always be in front of that guy.
Simple press break, simple pass, resulting to a 3-point shot, and then that's a turnover. Rafi Rivas not connecting with Calvin Abueva. So it will be SMB with an opportunity to end this first half on a good note.
Miscommunication, missed opportunity for Magnolia. They're still protecting a 4-point lead. They're fighting it hard. There's a sense of urgency right now here for the Templados, badly needing a victory against the mighty Beermen.
2 fouls to give for Magnolia, as they only have 3 team fouls. Simon Ciso taking his time before picking the ball up. That's the first one against Gio. His second personal. They have 1 more to give here. If I am SMB, I'm giving it right back to Simon Enciso. Pero yun na nga, yun din yung iniisip ni Coach Chito Victolero as he will call the number of Jed Mendoza to replace Gio.
Yes, the time is fouled. The reason why he's here is because he has 6 fouls to give, but only 1 actually because he'll be in team penalty after this one. This is the time.
Enciso?
But that's a bad foul.
Oh, I
telling
think
you.
that was in the act of shooting already.
And I mentioned it. He's here to issue a foul. Let's see if the referees will give Simon Enciso continuation. Oh, it's on the floor. Turns out to be a good foul.
But that was too close. that was risking it already. Good try.
Right.
.1 seconds. Magnolia in penalty. Simon Enciso goes to Cruz. The 3-point shot. No good. And that'll be the end of our first half of action. An entertaining one between Magnolia and SMB. The game changers for Magnolia were their defenders in Gio Halalon and Calvin Abueva. Those two really doing a lot on both ends of the floor to be able to come back from that 12-point deficit and build a 4-point lead, 51-47, heading into our halftime break.
Here are the games today on PBA Rush. Sa satellite TV, todo magmasayang pananood. Sulit pambata.
Will Wayne finally have his way?
Sa tawa.
Ayokong kumain. Busog pa ako eh. I-treat kita. Oh, sige.
Sa drama.
나쁜 년. 뭐? 들었잖아. 나쁜 년이라고 너.
At sa buong pamilya.
Is this thing a dog?
Oh my God! Is it a werewolf?
Talagang todo sa dami ng choices. Punta na kay Suking Retailer at mag-load na. Panoorin ang ating Gilas Pilipinas sa Windows 6 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Cheer for our national team. Nasaan ka man sa Pilipinas.
Oh, Pilipinas! No!
Watch Gilas Pilipinas versus Lebanon on Feb 24 at 6 p.m. And Gilas Pilipinas versus Jordan on Feb 27 at 6 p.m. Isang bayan, isang laban para sa Gilas Pilipinas.
Hi everyone, please watch and support the Santa Rosa City Lions in the Spikers Turf on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Signal Pay.
Hi, Gilas Pilipinas fans. My name is Japet Aguilar. I'm inviting you to watch our games versus Lebanon on February 24 and versus Jordan on February 27, live at the Philippine Arena. Buy your tickets at www.smtickets.com or any SM outlet nationwide.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governors Cup.
My name is Ella Gomez and today we are watching the San Miguel Beermen versus Magnolia Hotshots at ang halftime score ay 47-51 in favor of Magnolia. Alam nyo mga ka-PBA, very interesting ang matchup today dahil ang Beermen ay undefeated pa at ang Magnolia ay wala pang panalo, so malalaman natin mamaya kung makakaisang Magnolia or undefeated pa rin ang Beermen. Pero bago ang lahat, good news dahil magbabalik ang PBA All-Star Weekend since 2019. The PBA All-Star Weekend returns on March 9 to 12 and will go to Pasig City, Iloilo. Vote for your top 24 players para maging part ng All-Star Game. The top 2 vote getters will be named as team captains at sila naman ang pipili ng tig-11 players mula sa top 24 vote getters para maging kakampi nila. Pati coaches nila ay pipiliin by voting. Mayroon ding rookies, sophomores, juniors game, and all other all-star activities. Kaya make your voices heard and go to the PBA website for more details and voting. Syempre mga ka-PBA, suportahan rin naman natin ang Gilas Pilipinas. Philippines versus Lebanon, February 24, live yan on TV5. And Philippines versus Jordan, February 27, live naman yan on One Sports para sa 2023 FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Exciting ang ating mga aabangan all throughout this season and of course mga ka-PBA, hindi lang naman dito ang mga kailangan nating suportahan, pati na rin sa PBA 3x3. Kaya naman tingnan natin ang PBA 3x3 highlights.
At ito na nga po ang Leg 4 ng third conference ng second season ng ating PBA 3x3. Lakas ng tatlo. Nandito tayo sa loob ng Robinson's Place, Novaliches kung saan Pioneer at Meralco ang naglaban sa quarterfinal number 1. Dennis Villamor with 5 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists leads Pioneer into the semis, 15-11 your final score. Second quarterfinal of the day featured TNT and Blackwater naman kung saan si Alvin Nosotros naka 8 puntos, samahan mo pa ng 2 rebound at 3 assists. 21-13 your final score. TNT is through to the semis. Platinum took on JNT sa quarterfinal number 3 at si TH tumalip ang nagbida para dito sa karaoke. 7-5 stat line niya, 17-11 was the final score. Platinum pasok na. Last quarterfinal featured Cavitex and Barangay Ginebra, and it was Jory Napoles who had 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. At ang Cavitex Braves tinanggal yung nanalo ng Leg 3 na Barangay Ginebra San Miguel, 18-13 your final score. Pagdating ng semi-final round, Pioneer at TNT ang nagtapat. Dikdikan ang ating labanan all the way to the last drop. Meron mga 8 pagkakataon ang Pioneer para tapusin agad in regulation, pero nagapang sila ng TNT para mapuwersa ang overtime. 1-2-20, Morido ang nag-best player ng laro niyan. Pioneer pasok na sa finale. Next semi-final featured Platinum and Cavitex. Bonus na naman ang gagawa para dito sa Braves. 22-12 your final score. Napoles at 8-7-4. Sa battle for third, tinalo ng TNT and Platinum, setting up the finale, Cavitex versus Pioneer. Dominic Pardo nagwala dito, making his first 8 shots of the game. 11 points, 8 of 9 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Cavitex, for the 4th time in their franchise history, makakasungkit ng leg sa ating PBA 3x3. 4 different legs, 4 different winners. Leg 5 will be in Las Piñas next week. Magpapatuloy pa ang trend o may magkakaulit na, sabay-sabay nating alamin sa PBA Rush and One Sports.
Sa Satellite TV, todo magpasayang pananood. Sulit pambata.
Will Wayne finally have his way?
Sa tawa.
Ayokong kumain. Busog pa ako eh. Hindi-treat kita. O sige.
Sa drama.
나쁜 년. 뭐? 들었잖아. 나쁜 년이라고 너.
At sa buong pamilya.
Is this thing a dog?
Oh my God! Is it a werewolf?
Talagang todo sa dami ng choices. Punta na kay Suking Retailer at mag-load na. It's time to show the guys love for the game as they get to start off this year's volleyball season. This 2023 Spikers Turf Open Conference, who will show their dominance and power among the 11 teams. Are you ready for this season's bigger, better, and stronger action from men's volleyball? Watch the game starting January 2022 every Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays.
Hi everyone, please watch and support the Team BNS in the Spikers Turf on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Signal Play.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governors Cup.
Will he leave it? There it is!
Hello! That is an exclamation point and a half. Wow.
Yun na nga, oh! Ang tindi naman nun! Ang tindi naman nun, Coach! Talking about brains and effort itong Stockton. Well aware that they only have that time in the shot clock.
AJ measuring up, now backs up. McDaniel swings it to the other side. That is Newsome with one to shoot. Turnover para dito sa Miracle. Here got the Jeep. Jumps on to Jordan for the jam.
Yun nga lang, inabot ng depensa. And you know, the defense that you mentioned of Blackwater has been outstanding. Oh, what a block! Look at this! And the long arms of Maxwell. You watch it here. When he didn't fake, naabutan siya ni Maxwell, the long arm of the law. 1.2. See what they have. All the way across to Melesio. Passing it up! Oh my gosh! That was an amazing play. Amazing. Number 1 na yan sa top 5 plays of the week. Because that was pre-planned. Improvisation, that was planned. Well,
Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, the score currently is 51-47 in favor of the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hot Shots against the undefeated San Miguel Beerman. We thank you for sticking with us here on PBA Rush. Eric McCree versus Cam Clark. The matchup so far, bit of a wash. 4 of 6 from the field for Cameron Clark. 11 points and 3 rebounds, 10 and 5. So much better outing already coming from McCree, but that 30% shooting from the field needs to improve a lot in the second half.
He's got the ability to break the defense and go for penetrations. He should not fall in love with his 3-point shot. Yes, I know that it's part of his game, but he's actually like 1 out of 6 from deep in this particular ball game. So you have to be hard to guard. You penetrate every now and then. Go to the free throw line to increase your personal output.
This is more like it in terms of the steal numbers for Magnolia.
Yes, you're correct. That's 8 steals for Magnolia and only 5 for San Miguel. But look at the fast break points. 15 for San Miguel. That speaks highly on the kind of up-tempo game, the players that they have in their roster, and only 8 for Magnolia. Turnovers, San Miguel with 13. That is the reason why they're down by 4 points right now, which was translated by Magnolia into 18 precious points. Doing better, handling the ball is Magnolia with only 7 turnovers in this ball game.
Clark and Fajardo double-digit scorers for SMB, aided by Marcio Lassiter's 3 3-point shots and CJ Perez with 7 on the other side. Paul Lee continues to lead the scoring for the Hot Shots with 14. Macri has 10. Laput, the surprise starter, has had a strong performance with 9 points. Mark Barroca hit a couple of jumpers in the second quarter as well. As we're moments away from the start of the third quarter, those halftime stats were presented to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. No Ian Sangalang still for Magnolia. They're missing one key member of the squad as he's still down with the flu. I heard he lost a bit of weight because of just how badly it hit him. So we're hoping that he recovers quickly because they definitely need his presence again.
Oh, definitely. Back to the basket attacker, inside incursions, post defender. Those are the things that you're lacking if you don't have Ian Sangalang in your roster.
Mga ka-PBA, kumanda na kayo para sa kauna-unahang PBA All-Star Weekend since 2019. The last one was in Calasiao, Pangasinan.
That was a long time ago.
Yep, it was pre-pandemic. Now we're heading to Pasig City in Iloilo from March 9 to 12. As you can vote for your top 24 players will become a part of the All-Star Game. The top 2 vote getters will be named the team captains, and it will be selection. 11 teammates each from the top 24 vote getters to form their respective squads. The coaching staff is now up for voting, so make your voice heard. And the selection of our all-star units, it will be a different starting unit for Magnolia. Lapot still there with Macri, Halalon, and Paul Lee, but Calvin Abueva injected to the roster. Look, will not work out for Lapot. There will be a stop for San Miguel Beer to open our proceedings in the second half. They still have CJ Perez, Junmar Fajardo, Cam Clark, Simon Enciso, and Marcio Lassiter spreading the floor. It was good defense coming from Lapot as he forces a miss from Junmar. Reset here on the play for Magnolia. They send it down low. Calvin posting up versus Marcio. Quick spin for Calvin as he banks it home.
Easy basket. That is what you do. You look for mismatches. It's going to be a tough for anybody from the San Miguel Beerman roster, especially the guards. To go up against Calvin Abueva in the post.
San Miguel Beer running the horns. And now it's the side ball screen action. Mid-range jumper for Cameron Clark does not go in. Fajardo with a rebound. But he is stopped by Abueva. Junmar looking for a foul. Referee's not agreeing with him. Oh, Lapot could not handle as Abueva rescues the possession for Magnolia. Back to the biggest lead of the ball game for the Hot Shots at 6.
There's a little bit of a late call by the referee. When CJ Perez started to wince in pain, that was the only time that the referee called the foul. But this was a beautiful move, baseline drop step by Calvin Abueva. That is what you usually learn from big-time post coaches, and the best post player the league has ever seen is actually the team manager of Magnolia, and that's Alvin, the captain patrimonio.
Fajardo, handoff. CJ Perez on the attack. The interior defense has held strong for Magnolia as they're attacking here. Oh, I think Calvin mishandled the basketball as he will turn it over.
Unproductive thrusts from both teams, but San Miguel down by 6 points. They are not executing well. They can't get a clean shot. Credit that one to the vaunted defense of Magnolia.
Horns play again. Mid-range jumper, still nothing there for SMB. Not yet scored here in the third quarter. 2 minutes, 15 seconds already gone by. McCree sending it out to Paul Lee. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Hot Shots. Ball screen action. Paul Lee for three. In and out as Clark grabs the board for SMB. CJ Perez. Oh, clobbered by the defense of Calvin Abueva with a takeaway. Gio Halalon. Counter steal for SMB.
Again, nothing happening here from both these teams. Let's see Enciso finally with a clean shot and a made basket. The arrow is back.
From defense to offense for Simon Enciso, getting the swipe against Halalon and nailing their first basket of the third quarter. On the other side, McCree goes to Laput. Jamie in the attack, and that'll be another turnover against him, his fifth of the ball game. Simon from the other side, in and out. As Junmar finally gets one to drop.
McCree opting to make the extra pass. And from everybody's understanding here, he has to be a little more aggressive, taking that shot instead of passing it up.
Halalon had to get extra creative to get that separation versus Cam Clark as he extends their lead back up to 3. Good matchup, CJ versus Calvin. And now Clark has it. Binigay niya muna kay Simon Enciso. They dump the ball inside to Fajardo once again. He's now wary of the presence of Gio Halalon down low. Repost for Junmar. So foul will be called. Will it be against Laput? If it's against him, yep, it will be his fifth.
Second chance points for Junmar Fajardo against 3 white shirts. Nice step back jumper by Gio Halalon.
And he had to shoot that high, coach.
Getting a little separation for his jumper here for the second touch. This is what you want to see from the guards of San Miguel. Get that ball to Junmar Fajardo, not on the first try. If he positions himself near the basket, you have to reward the big man here. He got an offensive rebound once again. This is a little lighter for him in terms of just bulldozing his way against Rafi Rivas, who is much lighter than James Laput. Rafi Rivas has to do a better job blocking out Junmar. He has to get a defensive rebound and not allow Junmar get a lot of touches via the offensive rebound.
12 points and 6 rebounds for Fajardo. His team still down by 3. Simon Enciso setting up CJ Perez. Baseline drive. And he will take 2. Foul whistled against Rafi Rivas. I think he was too deep to be able to draw a block, an offensive foul rather.
Yes, he might be in the restricted area or in the no charge zone. Foul was called against Rafi, but he's actually arguing that call. He didn't believe a foul or a blocking foul should have been called against him.
That's back-to-back fouls on the veteran Rafi Rivas. CJ Perez, though, missing the first free throw. Chris Ross not yet seeing action in this ball game. As for a report from Miss Belgrade Warrior around the status of Chris.
Back-to-back misses for CJ Perez. Only 7 points so far for CJ.
CJ sa Philippine Arena, hindi pwede yan.
Hindi pwede magbigtis ng ganyan. 17.5 points per game ang average nito eh. Pagdating dyan sa Philippine Arena, bawal na magbintis sa free throw at bawal na magbintis sa game.
For CJ, one of the pool members for the upcoming Asian qualifiers, the sixth and final window, as Marcio hits another three. It's his fourth of the ball game. It's tied once again at 55.
And what I like about Marcio Lassiter is he is not complicating the game. He's just positioning himself in a situation wherein he's well spaced out. He's also helping the offense by being a floor spacer and just smoothly or confidently launching shots from downtown. Pero ang bilis ng bawi ni Calvin, ano? Nang gusto mo rito kay Calvin hindi na binibigyan ng pagkakataong mag-cheer yung San Miguel, aatake sa other side, and he was productive with that floater. You see the slow-mo again, throwing a lot of white shirts inside the paint. Even the defender of Marcio Lassiter, if again, you've got to stay home every time you guard Marcio Lassiter. Don't overdo your help. Make sure you have ample time to recover and challenge his shots from deep.
Good pass inside as CJ Perez hits the layup. A sneaky play of a good cut, aggressive cut, tied once again at 57 apiece.
And Ciso has established himself not just as an awesome three-point shooter, but also a playmaker, a facilitator, and a great assist man for this team.
That's a foul against CJ Perez. That will only be their first of the third quarter. On the other side, Magnolia has already been called for 14 fouls as we take another look at that make from CJ Perez, the PBA's apex predator. Back at it again. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
A new era calls for a new evolution, where style meets function and innovation with combined functionality and convenience. It's Honda's innovative engine technology. It's the ultimate game changer. The all-new Honda Click 125.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
You're still tuned into PBA Rush, a few minutes into the third quarter of the face-off between Magnolia and San Miguel. The Beermen emphasized how Magnolia's peskiness can hurt them back in their preparations, and true enough, in the dugout, Coach George reminded San Miguel of the need to slow down. They were in too much of a hurry, falling into the trap Magnolia set for them. Coach George wants the ball to fall more times into Junmar's hands to take advantage of the mismatch, which is actually the exact concern of Magnolia, looking for ways to defend and minimize the wrath of the Kraken. Carlo and Coach RG.
Thank you so much for that report, Miss Bel Gregorio, as it's a miss coming from Mark Barroca to open. After that timeout, Calvin Abueva holding on to his midsection there, one defender down, and that's the result. An easy look for Simon Enciso. Abueva not running back on defense as he's holding on to his midsection.
Well, the game is played 5-on-5. So if you have 5 offensive players and only 4 defenders, it's going to be easier for the offensive team to have an open look. And bouncing on that advantage was Simon Enciso, while Calvin Abueva was clutching, is it his midsection? Let us see this once again. He just stopped playing. He was probably hurt by the inadvertent elbow of Junmar Fajardo.
Now Calvin Abueva will now head to the bench, as his team will have to figure it out without him. Rome De La Rosa stepping into this contest with his team down by 3 now, 60-57. In terms of three-point shooting, SMB 8 of 18. Strong clip from downtown, 5 of 20 for Magnolia. McCree picks up his dribble. Oh, that pass is off. Tap blocked out by Simon Enciso. Lucky break for Magnolia as it'll stay on their side.
Solid third quarter for the Beermen. They entered the third quarter with a 4-point deficit, but an explosion. 13-6 to be exact, enabled them to grab the upper hand 60-57.
So Russell Escoto will have the unenviable task of defending Junmar Fajardo as Paul Lee attacks inside. Will still be with Magnolia, but with 0.4 remaining on the shot clock. Well, this will have to be very quick. Good move coming from Fajardo, but that last line of defense is there to stop him. Baroka, re-inbounder. That's, I think, too long. But the referees say play on. Yes, SMB will try to add on to this 3-point lead. Fajardo down low. Oh, that is easy pickings. I mean, Russell Escoto is more of a wing than a big to begin with, and you have to defend the big, the mean Kraken, Junmar Fajardo.
It's light compared to the strength of Junmar Fajardo. Look at Junmar Fajardo raising the defense of Escoto.
The Kraken starting to feast. San Miguel Beer up by 5, 62-57.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governors Cup.
Junmar Fajardo wants a bounce-back performance after a poor outing in their last game, and now he's picking apart any and all defenders sent his way. 6 of 11 from the field, 14 of 7 in this ballgame.
It's very hard for anyone to match up against Junmar Fajardo if he is in his usual element. He's just so determined. Look at the number of points that he has generated so far, 14 points, and also 7 rebounds. He's getting a lot of multiple opportunities because of his timing, and it's hard for Magnolia to play against Junmar, especially with Junmar's performance in their last game against Terra Firma. Only 6 points on 1 out of 6 shooting. He's definitely bound to fight back and come back in a strong way. That is what he's doing against Magnolia.
He does not have back-to-back mad games.
Exactly, that's my point.
That's a fact of life. Meanwhile, a good stop here for the Hot Shots. Let's see if they can get something or anything coming from their import, who's still stuck at 10 points in this ball game. McCree with a bounce pass as Escoto hits the layup with a foul. Junmar Fajardo called for his 4th personal foul. Good creation there coming from McCree. And that nudge from Fajardo was enough to warrant a foul.
McCree plays basketball the right way. He dishes off passes. He makes sure that the ball is sprayed outside when he penetrates, and see the opponent's interior defense clogs in the middle. But the requirements are different.
Yeah.
You have to be more offensive-minded right now because you're losing a lot of pieces. 10 points only, 3 out of 11 from the field. He has to be aggressive on his attack.
But to be absolutely fair to Eric McCree, if you yank him out of Magnolia, put him into the squad of San Miguel Beer, he could be a good player.
That's right.
I mean, just because of the difference of the make of the squad, just Magnolia might need a different look, might need him to step up and produce more points. if they want to be successful here. He's still missing with his jump shot.
He's just a perimeter player right now, or a three-point shooter. If his decision is to stop on a dime and to shoot, he has to nail it. Because they also have no offensive rebounders in the roster right now.
And speaking of nailing it, Marcio Lassiter.
5 threes already,
Yep,
if I am not mistaken, yes.
All threes. McCree sends it out to Escoto. Now Paul Lee has it up top. They're down by 5. Paul Lee. He locates Mark Barroca. Wide open for 3. He walked away from it, Coach Ryan.
So open. This guy has pride. If you leave him that open and with ample time to launch it, he's gonna nail it, Carlo. You know that. And he is also the one struggling big time in this conference. 3 out of 5 and now with 8 points.
Dapat tumingin sa panty, parang Steph Curry, tumitingin sa likod. Meanwhile, Cameron Clark, steady from the mid-range, hitting another one.
This is one guy. I've been telling you that he is tailor-made for this team because you need a guy who can shoot from the perimeter to play alongside Junmar Fajardo. Not plain and simple, but good answer by Russell Escoto with his own version of a perimeter, Jay.
So the risk of Coach Chito Victorero to put in a smaller defender against Junmar so far, kind of paying off for them. As Escoto has hit a couple of baskets. Cameron Clark against De La Rosa. Repose for the import. Cameron, jab step, jumper. Rattles out. Now McCree leading the attack. Magnolia asking for a call. Referees not biting. And on the other side, an easy layup for Jericho Cruz.
Now for Jericho, he needs to be involved offensively, especially in fast break attacks. He's also one of the better fast break finishers in the PBA.
Barroca looking for De La Rosa. That was a pull. Yep, that was a clear pull on Simon and So he might not like it, but we saw it from our angle. He prevented De La Rosa from getting a clear opportunity to catch that pass as we take another look at this layup from Jericho Cruz. 4-point lead for the San Miguel Beermen as we head into this timeout. 2 minutes and 8.6 seconds left in your third quarter of action.
Hi Gilas Filipinas fans, I'm Francis Lopez. I'm inviting you to watch our games versus Lebanon on February 24th and versus Jordan on February 27th live at the Philippine Arena. Buy your tickets at www.smtickets.com or any SM outlets nationwide.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governors Cup.
In this ball game, he has 15 points, all from the three-point range, adding 4 rebounds and 3 assists. You know, sometimes you get so busy if you're the defense of Magnolia trying to pay attention to Cameron Clark and Junmar Fajardo and CJ Perez that you forget about Marcio Lassiter. But when you do, you pay for it.
Yes, and 5 3-pointers already for Marcio Lassiter, one of the best floor spacers here in the league, and he's knocking it in.
We have an injury report from Miss Bel Gregorio. Bel?
Quick update on Calvin. He's okay. He just hit the lower part of his right rib cage, but he doesn't feel any pain and he's just resting right now. Chris Ross, on the other hand, not playing. Coach's decision. Carlo and Coach Archie.
Thank you for that report. Miss Bel Gregorio. Chris Ross will play, but opted not to be fielded in at this particular ball game.
That's a simple report of Chris Ross. We were expecting an injury.
Meanwhile, look at Cameron Clark put in the work as he gets a layup. You know, 15 points in the ball game for him. It's not that far if you compare it to Eric McCree, who has 10. But the difference is McCree has taken a lot more attempts compared to the San Miguel import, as Russell Escoto scores again his second and one play here in the third quarter.
Russell Escoto telling his coaching staff that he deserves more minutes. You see this roll to the basket. That's an easy shot for him because the one helped out. Alan Bulunadi is a head shorter than him, so good read by Russell Escoto, making a case for himself to play easily 12 or 15 minutes per ball game in the absence of Ian Sangalang, maybe?
They need him. They need them to step up and produce numbers. 71-67, Magnolia doing their best to stay within striking distance of the San Miguel Beermen. Perez on the floor with Tautua, Cruz, Bulunadi, and their import Clark. Mo posting up against Escoto. You can see De La Rosa digging. Cross-court pass to Cruz. Jericho attacks and converts.
We discussed this earlier. The depth of San Miguel in full display right now. Coming off the bench on that nice cross-court pass by Mo Tautua. Good attack by Jericho. And a chance for a three-point play. And San Miguel slowly creating some separation here in the third.
Jericho Cruz, always an aggressive attacker. He goes at it hard, forcing the defense to react. 7-point lead for SMB, 74-67. 60 seconds remaining in our third quarter. Eric McCree, cross-court pass to Gio. Corner pocket three, ball is good.
Timely basket by Gio Holano. That was the biggest lead of San Miguel in the second half. Good answer.
As they're still not getting anything from their important scoring here in the third period. Another bump from Magnolia's defense. 2 free throws coming up for CJ Perez.
In this version of the cross-court pass, he did not panic. He did not throw the ball over. McCree with good connection with Gio Halalon.
It looks like Coach Chito Victolero will risk the presence of James Laput in the final 38.1 seconds of the third quarter. We're seeing risk because he has 5 fouls already, Coach Ryan.
Right. It is actually the best and most productive big man in the roster of Magnolia. Raf Reeve is not generating a lot of points. Even Escoto compared to the production of Laput. And McCree, only 10 points. 3 out of 14 from the field. 1 out of 8 from the three-point area. Again, back-to-back. Not so good performance for McCree. We'll see if he can bounce back strong in the fourth.
They could go for a 2-for-1. It's a little too late now as Magnolia goes to Calvin Abueva. They find Mark Barroca. Good pass back to Calvin. Extra pass to Laput down low. Could not bank it home. SMB on the run. And Jericho says, nope. Let's take the final shot. They also know that Magnolia is in penalty. Adamson ball screen. Hook pass over. Brondial for 3. That's gone!
Massive basket by Brondial.
Counter 3 will not work for Mark Barroca. I saw it coming, Coach. I saw it coming. Nagkatinginan eh. Jericho Cruz, Rodney Brondial making something happen here in the tail end of the third quarter. Cruz with 10 points, 4 of 7 as always, an X-factor off the bench for SMB.
Always ready. He's a tough defender, but tonight he's actually scoring for his team.
10 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of steals, and that assist to Rodney Brondial, as it will be a 9-point lead, 79-70 for SMB versus the Magnolia Chicken Templados Hot Dogs, heading to the fourth quarter of action.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Sa Satellite TV, todo masayang panonood. Sulit pambata.
Will Wayne finally have his way?
Sa tawa.
Ayokong kumain. Busog pa ako eh. Ititreat kita. O sige.
Sa drama.
나쁜 년. 뭐? 그렇잖아. 나쁜 년이라고 너.
At sa buong pamilya.
Is this thing a dog?
Oh my God! Is it a werewolf?
Talagang todo sa dami ng choices. Punta na kay Suking Retailer at mag-load na. You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Fourth and final quarter of action inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. As you can see, a lot of fans still lining up for tickets in eager anticipation of the debut of Barangay Ginebra San Miguel in their title retention bid against the rain or shine Velasco Painters. That will be our next game after the conclusion of this matchup between SMB and Magnolia. For the San Miguel Beermen, 5 double-digit scorers, 4 of their starters, and then Jericho Cruz off the bench. Their lone non-double-digit scorer from their starters is Simon Enciso, and he already has 9. On the other side, only 2 have scored double digits for Magnolia coach in Paul Lee, who has 14, and their import, who has 10, but he is shooting an atrocious 3 of 14 from the field.
And I don't think he scored in the third quarter,
no,
Carlo.
0.
He was 0 in the third. In this game, or in this very first game, he had 15 points in the fourth quarter alone. But now, for Coach Chito Victorero, he needs more mileage, more shooting, more attempts at least from his import. No problem with the attempts, I stand corrected. More made is actually a priority for McCree.
You know, another player who did not score in the third, Paul Lee for Magnolia, still stuck at 14 points.
And that is why it was totally dominated by San Miguel in the third. 32 big points for the Beermen, while only 19 for Magnolia.
Oh, he forced the issue. A foul is called. That is a basket and 1. From McCree. I thought it might have been an offensive foul, but the referee is saying that Bulanadi was still moving.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. It's very obvious. Bulanadi was not able to establish a good defensive stance to stop and force the referees to call an offensive foul against McCree.
Pero nagbabaring kasi ng balikat eh.
May konti nga.
So it's a back-back play where he gets the benefit of the doubt. His first points here in the second half. He has 13.
He needs more.
A lot more. He might need 15 again here in the fourth quarter, like what he did against Converge.
Is capable of doing that, but they have to, the best way for them to bounce back is force turnovers, push the ball, and score on the break. Are they good enough to do it? The answer is no as far as CJ Perez is concerned. He's not going to turn that ball over. He's not going to miss a layup. He's going to add 2 points for his team.
Jackknife finish coming from CJ Perez, extending their lead back up to 81 to 73. But we've already seen that Magnolia is capable of coming back into the ball game. They were down by 12 earlier, and they were able to lead after the first quarter. Go try it.
Yes. You're correct. At the end of 2, Magnolia actually up by 4 points, 51 to 47. But just a massive third quarter run by San Miguel. We talked about that 32 to 19, 13-point advantage for the Beermen in the third, enabled them to lead quite comfortably at the end of 36. And a technical foul will be called against Rodney Brundial for pointing an accusing finger towards the direction of our referees.
Gio Harlalon maximizes that opportunity, sinking the free throw, and now they'll get 2 from Calvin Abueva. So a good chance to at least chip away at this lead, make it a tighter ball game. Still a lot of time remaining on the clock. 10 minutes, 36 seconds.
Good resistance being displayed here by Magnolia against Coach George Gallant and San Miguel. It was an easy first 3 wins for the Beermen, winning by an average of 20 points. And now they're up by 6. It's okay.
So it was 19, 21, and 20.
Yes.
Yun yung margin ng San Miguel Beer. As Calvin misses the second free throw. So it will be a 6-point lead, 81-75 for the San Miguel Beermen. And you know what? Jumar Fajardo is getting precious rest on the bench. And he will be coming in, try and dominate once again later on. Cruz from the outside, no good on the three. Halalon quicker to the loose ball. Gio on the attack, slowed down by Tautua. Halalon had the ball swiped away from him. So a dose of his own medicine from Tautua. And Aling Bulanadi missing on that jumper though. So seeing another left-handed shooter in Aling Bulanadi wearing a San Miguel Beer jersey, may Alan Kaitik flashbacks. It reminds you of something you watched before. Meanwhile, a turnover, another empty possession for Magnolia. That's back-to-back. Those hurt, Coach Ryan.
Especially if you're trying to launch a comeback. You're down by 6 points right now. And you're not really doing a good job offensively. Only 75 points generated by the offense of Magnolia. And their import only good for 13 points. San Miguel only 81. A far cry from their average in the first 3 games. More than 110 points average. Why? Because they scored 114 against Phoenix, 105 against Blackwater, and 122 versus Terra Firma. So defensively, Magnolia doing a much better job, limiting San Miguel to just 81 with 9:31 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The problem for Magnolia? Offense.
And that is, something that you could pinpoint to the lack of output. Right? I mean, not enough output coming from their import, because you expect your import game in and game out to get at the very least 20 points.
25?
Sure. Sure.
Because of what they lack right now. So you up the ante a little bit and increase the bar because your import can actually generate points. In his first game, how many points, Carlo? 38. But in the second game, only 12, and now only 13.
Almost another turnover. Yes, it will be another turnover against Magnolia. SMB throws it away also. Bounce off of the foot of CJ Perez.
Dennis Cotto getting precious minutes here. You can't blame the guy. He's not used to playing long minutes here in the PBA, but his getting what he wanted. In the absence of Ian Sangalang, he's really supposed to be more than serviceable. He needs to be productive too.
Escoto to Paul Lee. He needs to heat up here. Could not connect from deep. As Cruz sends it forward. CJ Perez is all alone for the slam.
Long shot. Long rebound. Not enough men to play safety defense for Magnolia. That is the result. A CJ Perez slam dunk.
And that will extend the lead of the San Miguel Beermen to double digits once again, 85-75. Forcing this time out, coming from the Magnolia Chicken Templados hot shots. They led by as many as 12 in the first quarter. They're trying to get there again, as this time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
A new era calls for a new evolution, where style meets function and innovation with combined functionality and convenience. It's Honda's innovative engine technology. It's the ultimate game changer. The all-new Honda Click 125.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Coach, you were talking about the import numbers and the requirements for a team like Magnolia. This is a fairly intact lineup. And the Magnolia lineup is fairly intact if you compare it to the last edition of the Governor's Cup. Their import back then was Mike Harris. I took a quick look at his numbers. It was at 27 points and 14 rebounds. He shot 54% from the field. As we take a look now at CJ Perez, our Be The Player, brought to you by Firefly, the trusted lighting partner of the PBA. 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for CJ. So, I mean, in comparison to what Eric McCree is producing right now, kita mo na bitin talaga, no? The locals are doing their job. He has to do a little bit more.
And another facet expected from an import is what you call inspiration. You have to do a lot of things, not just on offense. You also have to get rebounds. You have to get good shots off for open teammates and have the ability to make the extra pass. But the basic requirement is scoring. You talked about the 27 points of Mike Harris, 13 points so far for McCree. It is not even half the output that Harris is capable of producing for this team.
But now, Magnolia still trying to fight back. Outside shot refuses to fall for him. Another frustrating shooting performance.
It's 1 out of 9, guard. That's not good.
1 of 9 from downtown.
Yes, from downtown. And that is 4 out of 16 from the field. That's like 24%.
Another stop though. Gio Halalon pushing here. Gio with a quick step as he slams his back on that A-board. But they used energy to get back into this ball game in the first quarter. They're trying to do it again here in the fourth.
Coach Sid Victorero now coaching and standing up. In the last conference, we used to see him just on the chair sitting because he was nursing an injury, but now he needs more energy from his players. That's not going to help. That first missed shot by Gio Halalon was called against Clark.
Remember that landing coming from Gio Halalon, but he is made of tough material. Di bumigay yung A-board natin. Di rin bumigay si Gio Halalon. Yes. So everyone escaping that without...
There's more bad news for Magnolia because a well-rested Junmar Fajardo is back in the floor together with Marshall Lassiter.
But at least that was a 4-point mini run coming from Gio Halalon all by his lonesome. As they answer back, they get a 6-point deficit, 85-79. Clark, hand off to Cruz. Jericho, back to Enciso up top. Marcio against Lee. 2 seconds to shoot. Marcio misses on the triple. And there's Junmar once again, picking up another board. Cruz will launch from deep. So nothing there. A couple of rebounds now for SMB, and they get an N1 opportunity courtesy of Jericho Cruz. You have to applaud the effort of Fajardo and Clark for keeping that ball on their side.
That's not going to help Magnolia, allowing San Miguel, prior to that shot, was already up by 6 points, get multiple opportunities to score. If you want to get that rebound, you got the inside position. That was McCree against Clark. Unfortunately, he was not able to black out Clark, and Clark, with his unselfishness, gave off that pass to Jericho Cruz, who was wide open for a layup. A 3-point play completed, and San Miguel up by 9 points here in the fourth quarter.
88-79 is the count right now. Who could lead the attack for Magnolia? Gio Halalon has been doing his best. There's a switch on D. Good tight pass coming from Barroca, locating Escoto down low.
Good quality minutes displayed here by Escoto, but his team is still down by 7 points.
88-81. 6.5 remaining in your fourth quarter. SMB trying to stay undefeated, but this is the first time that they're really pushed to deep waters by their opponent. Paul Lee ahead. Paul Lee is fouled from behind by Clark. He will be sent to the free throw line for 2.
There is enough fight back left here. And stepping on the gas was Paul Lee, trying to ignite a strong comeback. He missed a layup, but he will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. You know, I'm missing a familiar face on the bench of Magnolia. Governor Rene Pardo is not in the venue right now, and I was told that he suffered from an allergic reaction. I hope you get well soon, Governor Pardo. And also, I just want to greet his son Michael a very happy birthday today. Happy birthday, Mike.
Oh, happy birthday, Mike. And get well soon to Governor Pardo. Screws sends it in bounds. 88-83, 5-point advantage. Almost a steal there for Paul Lee, but SMB recovers. Junmar down to that too deep. That's just easy pickings for Junmar Fajardo. As Coach Chito Victorero calls upon Jamie Laput to enter this ball game, a bigger presence on defense. He gives it to McCree. Eric now against Marcio. And this is a matchup that he needs to dominate, Coach Ryan, as McCree settles for another outside shot. Won't work again. 1 of 10 from the 3-point range.
Nothing's happening. Your shots from the outside are not falling in. So what do? Attack the basket. You have to be harder to guard. That step back jumper is obviously what San Miguel defense is allowing him to take.
That ball will stay for the San Miguel Beermen. 4.1 on the shot clock. But you can also sense that every miss that Eric McCree has, the confidence dwindles, not just for him, but for the locals as well. As we have a timeout right now, it's a 7-point lead, 90-83. 5 minutes and 12 remaining in this ball game.
This program is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
A new era calls for a new evolution, where style meets function and innovation with combined functionality and convenience. It's Honda's innovative engine technology. It's the ultimate game changer. The all-new Honda Click 125.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
Few minutes of action in the San Miguel Magnolia matchup. Carlo and Coach RG, throughout the game, you've been discussing Mark Baroca's need to step up. He has been quiet not only last game but throughout this conference. So I asked him about it. Is he feeling anything, or is he just not getting any good looks? And Mark said that more often than not, he just really tries to let their import create. And for him to get over his slump, he just has to stop the giggle and adjust to the import as well. But as of now, it seems like they have a lot more to do to get over San Miguel's defense. Carlo and Coach RG.
I think at this point, they will need to stop looking at their import and just force the issue themselves, as the locals have played much better than their import in this particular ball game. 90-83. They're still in this, but they need Paul Lee to start lighting it up. Barroca fakes, gives it up. Paul Lee wide open for three. Big shot from the lethal weapon. They're back in this ball game.
Only a 2-possession disadvantage right now for Magnolia. That was a good extra pass issued by Mark Barroca, who all squared up was Paul Lee for his 19th point in the ball game.
4.5 remaining. They want to go back to Junmar Fajardo. Laput has 5 fouls. Double team comes for him. They swing the ball over. Marcio to Enciso for 3. No good on the counter as Lee picks up the board. Quickly forward now to Barroca. Mark on the attack. Fakes Barroca. Draws contact and he's taking 2.
A lot of excitement right now generated by this comeback aspiration of Magnolia. What looked like a lost game for them has they were able to just turn it around because of the outside sniping of Paul Lee. And also Mark Barroca trying to bounce back strong. Only 2 points against Converge Fiber Xers. Very dismal performance from the field. That was 1 out of 5 in their next game against TNT. He improved his output a little bit with 5 points, but was really bad from the field. 2 out of 9 for 22%. This is by far his best scoring night in this conference. 10 points for Mark Barroca.
Magnolia came back from 12 points down in the first quarter. Now they're attempting to come back from 10 points down in the fourth, as it's just a 2-point San Miguel lead. Enciso going to Clark. Enciso still. Now they swing it over to Cruz. 4 seconds to shoot. Jericho on the attack. Stolen. A steal for Paul Lee. Lee goes to the other side. Layup. No good.
Oh, sorry, missed by Paul Lee.
Counter attack here for SMB. They swing it to Marcio for 3.
Painful exchange there. If you're rooting for Magnolia, a booming 3 by Marcio Lassiter to give them a little separation with a 5-point advantage.
Good fake, and that's a kick ball against the defense of SMB. That was a 5-point swing. It should have been a tied ball game, but you miss a layup. You allow a shot on the other side. Simon Enciso delivering his 9th assist, and Marcio Lassiter knocking down his 6th triple.
Painful miss by Paul Lee. Gigantic basket by Marcio Lassiter. He has not even made a basket from the 2-point area. 18 points for Super Marcio.
He is 7 of 10 from the 3-point range. As Laput is spoiled by Junmar Fajardo. CJ on the run. CJ Perez could not sink it, but Clark was there for the follow.
Another important basket. A 5-point cluster here for San Miguel.
Oh, big time 3 for Gio. They're still in this, Coach Ryan.
No, that's huge. Just when San Miguel felt like they're creating momentum, Gio Halalo knocks down a shot from downtown.
This is the emergency lineup of Coach Chito Victorero. Just 3-point guards in there at the same time. Marcio again. Not this time. I mean, how about this Magnolia squad? Because right now you can't even expect points from your import.
Yes.
James Laport is a surprise player in this ball game. So it's all up to the 3 guards to figure this game out and try to win it for the Hotshots.
Just a lot of pride being displayed here by the guards of Magnolia. Mark Baroka trying to shoot against the defense of Marcio Lassiter, foiled by Marcio on his attempt. But what you like is, if you're Magnolia, you like the energy, something that they lack in their game against TNT. Will they have enough gas to pull off a come from behind victory? We'll see it in the next 2 minutes and 28.
Baroka goes to Laput. Laput could not score, did not even hit rim.
Just didn't have good control. He was up against a smaller defender. He thought probably saw the shadow of Junmar Fajardo. That's why he did not have great balance to go for his floater.
2 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. Cam Clark sets it up to Enciso. Simon, the running banker, no good. And that's a foul against Cameron.
And that's going to be advantageous if you're Magnolia. That loose foul.
Oh, no. A foul versus Paul Lee.
Oh, I was surprised. I thought it was behind the back foul that will be called against Clark. And I said that it's going to be a big bonus for Magnolia because San Miguel is already in team penalty, but having it checked and validated by our Coliseum Barker, it turns out the foul was called against Paulie, so another chance for San Miguel to score.
The foul was downstairs. Did not see it from our angle. Marcio sends it out. Simon Enciso for 3. Good line. That's good.
That's an out shot. Meaning, if you're Magnolia, you want a strong comeback. You try to defend. And with shot clock winding down, you see Simon Enciso hit the bottom of the net. That is painful.
Extending their lead now to 7 points, 98-91. Enciso, it's another 3-point basket. 12 points in the ball game alongside 4 rebounds and 9 assists. Minute and 49 to deal with still for Magnolia. They can still come back from this. As there is, I think, a miscommunication between our table officials and the coaching staff of Magnolia. I think Coach Jason Webb was trying to call a 30-second timeout. Instead, I think this will be a fall for them. It's 98-91 with a minute and 49 remaining in this ball game.
Hi, please watch and support the Signal HG Spikers in the Spikers Turf on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Signal Play.
You're watching the 2023 Honda PBA Governor's Cup.
George Gallant.
12 three-point conversions in the ball game for SMB. They're shooting at a decent 40% clip from downtown. As you take a look at that, that's why they did not want that full timeout to be called. They're only left with a 30.
Right. That's clear.
So they'll have to make something happen here. Eric McCree on the attack. The runner, no good. Barroca, second effort, kick out pass. Halalon will try from 3. Nothing there. CJ Perez secures the big rebound for the Beermen.
And that's the story. You call a timeout, you design a play for your import, and your import could not deliver.
SMB trying to look for the finishing touches. CJ Perez, no good. Look at Clark. Grab that rebound. And that should be it. I mean, a 9-point lead at this stage with a minute and 15 remaining. It will be a tough climb for Magnolia, but they will not stop trying. Barroca hits a 3-point shot. That was a make or break, and he hit it, Coach Ryan.
Yes. And there's still enough time for them to launch a comeback. Only a 2-possession disadvantage or a 6-point lead for San Miguel, but they have to make a stop here. Critical for Magnolia to have a strong defensive stop here in this possession.
They're double teaming June Mar. But looks like he'll be going for the V-post. Double team comes again. That will be a shot block violation. That was not a bad play. They saw the mismatch.
Just not enough time.
Yes, we take another look at this rebound. Eric McCree was right there, but he was beaten to the ball by Cam Clark. And then this shot will allow Magnolia to stay in this ball game. I think Coach Chito will call his final timeout. Yes, he will. This will be the last timeout for Magnolia. 45 seconds remaining. I'm sure that Governor Rene Pardo is watching. Eager anticipation as their next 3 games.
Yes, and
will be against Phoenix, Ginebra, and NLEX. And we hope the good governor
course,
comes
that is
back.
exactly what I was supposed to say. Governor Pardo, your team needs you right now for a added boost of inspiration.
But they're still fighting back. You have to give it to the guards of Magnolia. Next 3 games for SMB, Meralco, Converge, and Northport. Yep, matchup against Meralco should be a good one, Coach Ryan.
Yes, and also against Converge.
Sure. Another undefeated team.
4-0 for the team of Coach Alinayo. Very impressive once again.
So again, it's important for the teams to get a good start because the top 4 squads here in the Governor's Cup will head to the quarterfinals with a twice-to-beat advantage.
Yes, it's a rat race right now to gain the top 4 slots. And the bottom 4, Carlo, is automatic elimination. So that is how cutthroat this conference is.
Here we go. They might need a 3 at this point. Paul Lee goes to Calvin Abueva. Attacks instead. Calvin bending his way for a layup. It's still a 2-possession disadvantage. And what makes this a bit harder for Magnolia is their lack of a timeout.
Yes, so a lot of instructions right now for Coach Chito Victorero. You see this penetration of Calvin Abueva. It was good, it was strong, it was forceful, it was a determined attack by Calvin Abueva, still trying to fish for a foul. Unfortunately, there was none, but at least you're gonna get 2 points on that layup.
But we just have to go back quickly, Coach Ryan, to that missed layup of Paul Lee. It was for the tie. You miss a fast break layup, it means that you're giving up a fast break opportunity on the other side.
Right, and seeing himself wide open with nobody in front of him was Marshall Lassiter. But that shot by Marshall was courtesy of a pinpoint cross-court pass by Simon Ciso.
Yeah.
Yes.
9 assists. His average is 8.5, so he's just a different animal altogether because we've always known he can shoot. But now almost producing double-digit assist numbers game in and game out. Simon Enciso, a huge reason why SMB is still undefeated.
And what I am most impressed with is his stability. Before, Simon Enciso will just look for his shots, and sometimes he will even force his shots even if there's somebody in front of him. But because of team chemistry, because of trusting one another, he has 12 points in tonight's ball game. And just like what you've mentioned, 9 assists. That is what a point guard is supposed to be like. The ability to shoot and also create.
13 points from Eric McCree, a non-factor. No, close to being a non-factor. Only 3 points, Coach Ryan, in the entire second half.
And he took more three-pointers than shots inside the paint or inside the three-point area. So what does that say? If you're struggling, if you're 1 out of 10 from the three-point area, go attack more. At least get it from the free throw line if there is a problem with your finish.
There might be a discussion here about the substitutions, Coach Ryan.
Yes.
Magnolia asking for a technical foul. Oh, it's just a warning.
Game. Okay. Full court pickup here.
Yep, to get the 24, to get the entire 24. CJ looking for his options. Timeout. Di makakita ng malinis na pasa si CJ, so he will instead call a timeout.
That is the luxury of Coach George Gallant, being on top for much of the time here in this ball game. He has more timeouts left compared to Magnolia. Magnolia 0 with 38.9 seconds remaining here in this ball game. No more timeouts, you know? So a lot of instructions here for Coach Chito Victorero. A defensive instruction and an offensive instruction and another defensive instruction. So 4 straight plays on their own for the Magnolia players on the hardwood.
But that emergency timeout from San Miguel actually helps Magnolia because it gives them a bit more time to plan out the final 38.9 seconds. This time though, Coach George Gallant advances the ball.
So that means only 14 seconds to manufacture a basket for San Miguel. George Gallant, afraid of the full court pickup of Magnolia, he opted to just inbound the ball in front of his bench.
Saka nga naman Manakawan, no? Quick double team against Junmar Fajardo. Junmar in a bit of trouble. He sends it out to Simon Enciso. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Cameron Clark against Paul Lee. Double team comes for him. Clark forces up the shot, misses Fajardo down low, loses the basketball. Paul Lee on the attack now for Magnolia. Lee to Calvin Abueva. Abueva, the layup is good with a foul. No foul. He's saying play on. 100 to 98. They'll need to foul right now. Talking about Magnolia. The referee made a signal, so I thought there was a foul. Apparently, there was no foul.
Yes, it was play on. Let's see this again. After the miss of Clark, Junmar Fajardo got the ball stripped by Gio Halalon. Look at Gio Halalon pushing that ball. Calvin Abueva against the defense of Marshall Lassiter. It was a let-go situation, so it was just
play on.
Play on, yes, it was just play on. So this is the situation that we're in right now. San Miguel up by 2 points. 10.2 seconds remaining. CJ Perez will be on the free throw line to shoot 2.
Oh, he missed the first.
Earlier. Yes, that's going to be huge. He has to make this one to make it a 3-point advantage for San Miguel. But again, the challenge for Coach Chito Victorero, he has no timeouts left. So he will rely on the decision making of his players to either go for the win if CJ Veras misses this one or go for overtime with a 3-point shot.
Second free throw is also a miss for CJ Perez. It's only a 2-point lead. Halalon pushing. Gio to Barroca. They're looking for Paul Lee. Paul for the win! No! What effort coming from Magnolia, but their comeback bid falls a bit short. Coach Ryan.
San Miguel dodging a bullet there. Paul Lee was tasked to take the last shot. And if you have a timeout left, at least you could have tried to make a better play in the last possession for your team. Do you really need a 3-point shot? Obviously, the answer is no. Where should the ball go to? Macri was not even moving. The best situation there was for Macri to get that ball under severe or critical situations like that. And Paulie, finding the ball in his hands, had no other choice but to launch it, but he missed. San Miguel is 4-0 right now in their first 4 games.
I think that was it. In the end game, you had 4 locals not even looking at their import. That was the story of the ball game for Magnolia. Marcio Lassiter, a tremendous shooting performance. He is our ultimate player of the game. Presented to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. That shot was huge. The 3-point counter to the Paulie miss gave them the separation they needed to weather this uprising, this end game stretch for Magnolia.
He just simplified the game. He knows exactly what his main weapon is, and that is outside sniping. 18 points on a 60% shooting from deep, and that critical 3-pointer to secure another victory for San Miguel against Magnolia.
Our final score is 100-98. Brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. And now we'll send it over to Miss Belle Gregorio with the winning import in Cam Clark.
Yes, I am with Cameron Clark, the winning import from San Miguel. What a bullet you dodged there, Cam. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was tough. This was a great team. I feel like this was a great test for us. They're a strong team, got a lot of guys who can attack. You know what I mean? This was a good game.
George Gallant. Marcio, talk to us how you and the team were able to keep Magnolia at bay during the second half of the game, especially the last few seconds of fourth quarter.
Well, we knew coming in the first half, we gave up a lot of points, especially in the first quarter. I believe it was like 29 points. Coach was really emphasizing, actually all the coaches were emphasizing, we got to play better defense. And we knew second half it's going to come down to that, getting all the stops we can, because they're a gritty team and they can make a lot of shots really fast. So credit to our team for our defense tonight.
Coach George, SMB has had a good run so far this conference, and you remain unbeaten. To where do you credit this good start, and where is the strength of the team?
It's the players, the players are playing good defense. That's what I always tell you. Our defense always triggers the offense. If we play bad defense, which we did in the first quarter, and which I pointed out to them, the opponents will score a lot. But we struggled with our offense in the first half because of those. We weren't playing defense. We weren't reversing the ball. We were just playing one-on-one, and that's not us. We have to play as a unit for us to progress offensively.
Two teams heading in different directions engaged for the first game of our doubleheader here in your PBA Sunday inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. It was San Miguel Beer that got off to a strong start. They led by as many as 12 points in the opening minutes of the ball game, but Magnolia fought back, and it was Eric McCree getting a three-point shot. His only made three-point shot in 10 attempts in this ball game, as he poured in 10 first half points to weigh the cause for the hot shots. But on the other side, there was great balance for the San Miguel Beermen. Clark picked his spots as he produced another victory for the San Miguel Beermen. This was later in the first quarter with Mark Barroca making his presence felt. He has struggled in their first couple of losses, but now finally getting some confidence, some flow as they head on to their fourth matchup. Junmar Fajardo was tested early by the presence of the big, strong youngster in James Lapod, but the Kraken, this is still his yard, this is still his floor, as he bounced back with a better performance as opposed to what he provided his squad in their last game against Terra Firma. CJ Perez with that tough jumper, he just threw it up expecting a foul. It went in anyway as these two teams engaged in a nice battle down low. James Lapod also helped out on offense, picking up 9 points the first half of action. Unfortunately for him, he will not be able to score from that point on. Magnolia getting baskets on the break as Paul Lee converting on that layup, thought he was fouled as well. It was a slim 4-point lead for Magnolia, 51-47, heading into the third quarter of action. 53-47 was the score at this point, and the three-point shot started to fall for Simon Enciso. Marcio Lassiter, as always, a threat from the outside. Halalon sinking this one, a tough jumper over the defense of the import Cameron Clark. They would battle back, but San Miguel Beer will take control of the ball game. This is a wide open look from Marcio as he was deadly from downtown in this entire ball game. 6 3-point shots converted. This was a big one as well. Rodney Brondial sinking his lone 3-point bomb of the matchup to lead by 9 points, 79-70, heading into the fourth and final quarter of action. That old Adamson connection leading to a basket. And SMB had some separation by the start of the fourth. This was a slam dunk from CJ Perez to extend their lead back up to 10. A timeout was then requested by Coach Chito Victolero, and his squad will actually battle back. The guards doing well for them. Paul Lee knocking down a 3-point shot. And at this stage, they were only down by 4. It was a tight ball game at that stretch, with Gio Halaran also knocking down a triple. Coach Chito with his usual 3-guard lineup, but this was a big one to stretch their lead to 9 points. Cameron Clark putting in the effort. He said his game is all about energy. But Magnolia will have one last shot at winning this ball game. Paul Lido missing the 3-point attempts as they will absorb their third straight loss. Magnolia still winless. San Miguel on the other side have won now 4 straight to start their campaign here in the Governor's Cup. Up next, we have the Rain or Shine. The Elasto Painters facing off against the debuting Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. Straight back with it here on PBA Rush.